Playing with older guys when I was younger, getting scored on, they kind of like didn't sit with me well.
Taking shots, they need to be tacking inside. That'll help the field goal percentage.
Jacob Myers here with Jamir Watkins. I think personally, one of the best defenders in the draft this past year, one of the best defenders in college basketball. So let's just kind of break down. Tell me what you see, what your process is. I think, it starts with the ball pressure. Like you said, pick it up 94 feet. Got that from VCU. What are like the key elements of being able to keep someone in front of you and apply that type of pressure?
I would say just like making the offensive player just make a decision like while you're in front of them. Like obviously like picking up full court, like they don't, it's like they're trying to read you, but really like you're just baiting them to doing things that they don't really want to do. It kind of goes into the scouting report, like just playing the players offhand or something like that, and just making them do things that they're not as comfortable with, like doing, especially picking up full court. A lot of guys don't really like enjoy like that pressure full court. That's something Coach Ham is big on. That's something I carried over from VCU, like you said.
Yeah. So you talk about picking up full court on the guards. Florida State, Coach Hamilton has historically had one of the more aggressive switch heavy defenses. Here we got
Yeah,
even, I think this is Quinn and Post of the Warriors. That
yeah.
you just take it from them. Baseline of bounds, obviously super strategic in college basketball. Like, was this a scout? Did you kind of know this was gonna be here?
So this is like kind of our inbound defense. So like we put like our say our four mans on the ball just to like we kind of want to like shade. We kind of want to like shade the ball to like make them throw it like back to half court because we don't want to show like no gaps in between. To where it's like you have to throw the ball deep, and they ended up trying to like throw it over the top of me, but I ended up trying to stay low, and just I ended up getting a block because like he didn't really jump. I think he thought I was just gonna like wall up and allow him to like do a little hook shot, but
What's the
it was
wingspan at?
6'11".
So here versus Duke, ball pressure. Here we get some of the switching. Like when you guys are clicking out there and you're switching 1 through 5, what's enabling that?
I would say just communication, just knowing that you got your brother behind you, and like whenever you mess up, it's kind of like no way of messing up when you switching, because like when you have great communication, you always know that your brother got your back. So even if you mess up, like throughout the switch, it's someone gonna recover for you, or like we got so much length that it's always gonna be like someone coming over to help side.
So this Duke game, I think you had foul trouble, right, in the first half?
Yeah,
I mean, I'll be honest, you gave Filipowski hell. I think
yeah.
he was visibly frustrated in this game. You really kind of wreaked havoc um, on the switches. Is this scout as well? Like, is this he likes to spin, or what are you kind of thinking here once you get switched on to Filipowski?
I kind of was just like reading his like body movement and like the way he wanted to turn, like him gathering up to catch the ball. I kind of felt like he wanted to. I kind of like baited him into like going that way because I was like shading like the middle of the floor. So I kind of wanted him to go that way so I could beat him over there first, and he ended up going that way and traveling. So
Some coaches say like talk, touch, take with like switching.
mhm.
Um, what's kind of your guys' is it mostly verbal? Is it a trust thing?
It's really verbal and coming together, like connecting, like we like touch the switch, so like people can't split us. If you seen like the Virginia game last year, they kind of like picked us apart because we were just pointing the switch and we were too like far apart, so they were just like splitting us. So really, us coming together and just switching is like what brings us confidence and know like we know that like our brothers are behind us for real. It was some possessions where they wouldn't even like screen. They were just coming up and like fake screening, and they wouldn't even come together. So they were just splitting, and we're like yelling switch, but like there's no screen, so you don't like he's already slipping to the basket, and you were already coming up to switch. So they kind of picked us apart with that.
Yeah, that's really how Ryan Dunn got his offense last year. That's how he get dunks and they throw the
Yeah,
lob.
and they make the possession so long, so like you gotta talk the whole 24 seconds. You have to communicate.
Gotcha. Then the off ball awareness you talked about a little bit earlier when you had your injury. It seems like you're almost like a free safety out there, like, reading the ball, manipulating the ball handler, maybe leading them to throw a pass. Maybe kind of
Yeah.
just break down what you see here.
All right. So right there, I would say just like me, just staying patient, making sure like he doesn't really see me coming, but he knows I'm present. So I would say just me, just being help side, like I said earlier, like we always like if you're on the ball, we're always in help. So it's kind of no way you can really mess up and just like be exposed like in a way to where it's like you have no help because we switch kind of like shrink the gaps and stuff like that.
Another one here, blocks. Had like a block a game. This is where I say you got the free safety. It seems like you can
Yeah,
tell, you can pick it up on the camera footage. You're always reading the ball handler. So here we got Jalen Lowe, freshman. Pretty
yeah,
good, had a great freshman season, him and Buck. This game, I
yeah.
think you did a really good job. Maybe like 4 or 5 steals. A lot of it just like interceptions, baiting them. I don't know what your football team is, but like a free safety, like a Ed Reed maybe. So talk me through what you see here.
So right here, I'm kind of in the middle of both of them. So I'm kind of just like reading his eyes and like trying to really bait him to like throw it to the corner. But I know like I kind of seen what was over here. Like those are top two scoring guys. So I'm kind of just like waiting for him to throw it to one of the guys. I'm kind of in the middle of both of them. So like either way he threw it, I kind of was gonna like shade to the ball and kind of get the steal for him.
So right here we have another one, kind of just baiting. It looks like you
Yeah,
expect it to come, like you said earlier. So you guys, you want this pass, like you want
yeah,
them to
we
throw
kind
it
of
hah.
we kind of want that pass. Like, we go over it a lot in practice. So like I can see like how far back he is because of the length that we have on the ball, the on ball pressure. And he kind of like loaded up to like throw the pass. So I kind of was like just reading it and just waiting for him to throw it.
Yeah, you got your pick six.
Yeah.
It seems like you have a good feel of reading when the opposing team kind of switches their head and they're not looking. Break down the art of when you can gamble like this.
So right here, I would say he turned his head like as if like they were playing a two-man game on that side, but like my matchup kind of went over the top, and I don't think they were expecting that, so I kind of just took a gamble for the ball and ended up getting it.
It seems like you have the type of athleticism and I guess feel or like court mapping where you can kind of be playing two and kind of like effortlessly recover.
I would say it's just me like understanding the scout, like understanding who I'm guarding. So I'm guarding a non-shooter, so I'm gonna overhelp anytime I can because I know even him throwing it out, he's gonna lead like come back into me, like having a draw, like drive back into the paint for real. So that's just me understanding the scout for real and like understanding who I'm guarding, where they at on the floor, where I can help at.
So we talk about the ball pressure, the confidence, the range, trust in being a switch heavy team, having the
Mhm.
size of your wingspan. Explain, I guess, your advice on like how someone develops not having fear because a lot of players are scared to get beat.
I would say just having confidence in yourself, just like I would say I kind of it kind of grew on me like playing with older guys when I was younger. Like me just like getting scored on, it kind of like didn't sit with me well. So like I always just wanted to come back even stronger and play more aggressive defense. Like even if it was like when I was younger, I used to like foul a lot because I'm playing against older guys. Like it was no way for me to like just stop them like physically. So like that's where I would say I got my toughness from, just playing in the park, you know, older guys going at me, like picking on me and stuff like that. As far as like being a young defender out there playing with older guys, I would say that's where I got my like confidence and stuff from, and just like not taking like someone scoring on me and just allowing it to be what it is. Like for real, that's where I really got my toughness and just like risk on defense for real.
So who are some guys? I mean, I hate pro comps. I'm sure you got asked 1,000 times throughout the draft process, like who do you monitor game after? But like, who are some defenders you maybe look at and try to emulate that type of toughness, that type of pride, and really like taking out another team's best player?
Man, I would say like the biggest is like Jrue Holiday. Just the way that he stays in front of the ball is crazy. Like it's kind of like fun to watch. It's funny to watch for real, cause like he like you said, like he gets a lot of people like frustrated for real, cause it's like nothing you really do like, and you're on offense, so it's not like you could like really get physical with him, cause you're just playing into his favor for real. So I would say him, uh, Jaylen Brown too, picking up on it. Derek White, just the whole like Boston is crazy. Their defense is crazy. Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jrue Holiday, Jaden McDaniels, guys like that. Just like I just watch them a lot defensively, and I just try to pick apart and try to see like what they see on the floor and how they're reading their matchups and stuff. How they're turning their matchups over. How they frustrating them in little ways to just throw their game off. Kind of picking out the best player on the other opposite team and just taking them out of the game. So like the game changing the whole game for real.
Yeah, for sure. Two follow-up questions to that. One, like when do you know you have like what are the signs when you know someone's frustrated? Like the
Uh,
gamesmanship within the game.
it kind of starts to like cause like arguments throughout the game, like with the teammates. They like you kind of see your opponent get to blaming other people and stuff like that. It kind of shows, or like they get subbed out, like they're taking shots that you didn't see on scout, like just making them do uncomfortable things for real, and just making them uncomfortable throughout the game for real.
Sure. We mentioned a few of these wings that made an impact in the playoffs, specifically Western Conference with the Timberwolves. You talk about McDaniels, the Thunder. I mean, they're all wings.
Yeah,
um, the Dallas Pelicans had Najee in the play-in, a bunch of wings like that. Maybe was it like reassuring during the draft process, is during the playoffs? Like you're watching the games at night, you're like, I can do that.
yeah, for sure. I would say just seeing how the Timberwolves were, just like that young group, they got guys switching. Ant Man carrying the energy. Him. They got Big Cat, Rudy. I would just say just seeing Jaden McDaniels, just his ball pressure and the role that he was playing, just 3 and D, not doing too much. Playing how they need him to play, and it's got him like far. That's the only team he's been on. He hasn't been traded or anything. So I would just say, just watching guys like that, I know like I can fit right in and be a plug and play guy.
And on the other side of the court, offensively, who are some players when you're watching games you kind of think maybe I could fill that role early in your career?
Early in my career, I would say I kind of like the way OKC plays Jalen Williams. We got guys like Vince Williams, the way they play him. I kind of got to see that play out. Yeah, I had 2 years with Vince. I played with him my freshman year, and then the year I got hurt, I kind of got to watch him play throughout that whole year. That was his last year. Uh, Najee Marshall is another one. Like just plug and play guys, like guys that have a role that don't have to really do much, but play defense, knock down shots at a early stage in their career, not really having to do much, letting their role grow for.
Off of that, so we talk about being a disruptor defensively, being able to switch, guarding all positions, communicating. Are there any other aspects defensively able to be so effective?
I would say what's building is like my communication. Me taking on a bigger role this year, just being a leader, having to communicate with younger guys. We got a young group, so me just being a communicator, it's kind of like maturing me on and off the court and just elevating my game.
What type of leadership style do you think you exhibit? A lot of people break it down to like you're either super loud and like confrontational, and then they say, "Oh, I'm gonna lead by example."
Yeah,
Obviously, it's more in the middle. Like, what's
yeah.
kind of your leadership style, and your way of communicating with your teammates?
So before I would say it was always lead by example, but as I kind of get older, I kind of got to lead like more verbal, just to like let guys know, because like everybody doesn't have like really the IQ that I would say I have. So it's kind of hard to lead by example because they don't really see it how I see it. So I kind of just like break it down to like different players on how they read the game and stuff, and just be verbal, like walking my guys through stuff and things like that.
Yeah, a lot of posters this year. Like,
Yeah.
let's break down a pair. I think I got two of these. You talk about not playing with fear. I think that translates on offense too.
Really, right here, just seeing how he went under the first ball screen. He kind of was biting to get over the next one, so I kind of just did like a little regular in and out, and I kind of saw how nobody was in the gap, so I just took off. Like this game right here was like a must-win game for me because it was like championship game. We kind of was like getting back on track to like having a good year. We were 3-1, so
Yeah,
yeah,
early.
that was that was a big game right there, and that dunk was crazy.
Yeah, that dunk was crazy. It was a great win against a team that ended up having three draft picks,
Yeah,
two
yeah,
wings. All right, we got the last poster here. I think. Yeah, it's in transition. So press break.
yeah,
So this was a close game at
yeah,
Miami. This is like maybe December, maybe January.
yeah. This was
Um,
closer to the end. Yeah, this was crazy. This was like a press break, so they were trailing this. They were trailing, I think, the whole game. So they went on like a crazy run. It was like I think they went on like a 13 to 4 run, and like the crowd just went crazy. So like this was like a little silencer for real. So like they were trying to press us to turn us over, and I just seen like how he was trying to like play in the middle in between two. But like once I took like that first dribble, my adrenaline was like rushing so high. Like I just took off. Like and he ended up getting a hand of the ball, but I ended up just like pushing it through and just like dunking right on him. So it was crazy. I would say that Miami dunk was probably one of my craziest dunks. Like that's just like how everybody will want to have like a fast break, like 2-on-1. That's like everybody's dream dunk for real. Like 2-on-1, big man's in the paint, he's in a circle, so you don't got to worry about a charge. And I kind of just like took off for real. That's like kind of what everybody like hopes and dreams are. Catch that fast break right there.
Like, what's your why? What keeps you driven? Because you've had a unique journey, and then two, what does it mean now to get that recognition later?
Getting the recognition now, I would say it's like kind of normal to me for real. Even though I didn't have it before, I would say just understanding like what I did to get here kind of like keeps me humble, and like me getting hurt was like big for me because like that was like my one of my biggest injuries, so it kind of humbled me. And I would say just getting the recognition now, it was like something I kind of always knew was gonna come. It was just like the matter of time of it coming. And like my why really is like my family for real. My mother, my little sister, my father, all my siblings. Like they're really my why, and they the reason that I keep going. Just setting the bar high, making a big example for them, and just understanding where I come from for real. Like a lot of people would like do a lot of people would die to be in a position I'm in right now. So like I just never try to take like this for granted for real. I just take it all in and just apply the work. I know the work is always going to show, so I just continue to put in work and just understand that somebody like in a different position as me is somebody with less than me is like grateful of what they have. So there's no reason for me to not be grateful of what I have.